Yo, everybody, it's Tiana Adeje. Still talking to single fathers. Today, I actually have Kevon on the line. Kevon, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing fine, doing fine. I actually have a quick question outside of the regular ones that I'm going to ask you. You are the single
Okay.
father of what? How many do you have, and what's the age?
I have two. I have a son that's 15, and I have a daughter that is 13.
Okay, cool. So 15 and 13. Those are the trying ages, are they?
I mean, they better off trying God than trying me.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to leave it at that. Well, I appreciate you answering today. Just like I said, just talking about being a single father. Let me go ahead and ask you this then. What are the three things that you admire about being a dad? Or at least three things.
Man, one of the things is just, watching them grow.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my son today, and, he'll be a senior next year. He's going to graduate when he's 16, well, turning 17.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, it's almost over. And I was like, yeah, it is. I said, you starting to think about it? And he was like, yeah, I'm really thinking about it now. And, just watching them change throughout the years and grow. And even with my daughter going from being just a daddy's girl and just a little sweet thing as she want to be to now she is, she thinks she's grown. She thinks she can drive. She thinks she can do a lot of things now. So she's in a hurry to be an adult in a way.
Yeah.
And just the reward of being a father, just the reward of seeing it and being there and being in their lives and the opportunity, because me and my dad didn't get our relationship till later on in life, and for me to be there since the beginning with them and to go through the trials and errors and go through that and try to be the best father that I can be without actually having a example of a good father other than TV dads. I mean, I think people kind of laugh when I say it. I was like, man, Uncle Phil and Carl Winslow will slick the dads. I try to mirror my parenting skills out there, because I mean that's what I saw on TV.
Yeah.
And, of course, Cliff Huxtable as well. So.
Yeah, they did. I think that's for a lot of people too, especially of our race and all that. They just modeled that fatherhood that not too many teens have. Even when we were growing up, like you said, your relationship with your father was kind of not fully established until you became a full adult.
Right.
And mine was the same way too, because growing up in a fatherless home was kind of a challenge, not just for me but for my brothers as well. And just for them, I'm pretty sure that they can probably say the same thing, like you said, just to see somebody in a fatherly figure, whether it be on TV or whether it be in person, just having someone to model after, because I know that they're fathers now and I'm a mother, and it's just amazing to see how we have become wonderful parents to our kids without having that father figure in the home. So do you think fathers today, your age, have a challenge maybe being in a long-lasting relationship if they wanted to be in one?
I don't think so. I don't think they have the problem with finding someone and being in a long-lasting relationship. I believe a lot of times a lot of fathers are held hostage by the mother.
Okay.
Because a lot of mothers out here try to bring the kids around. I mean, they do things to try to hold that father basically handcuff him from moving on and doing other things with his life, because I think a lot of times we don't think of women being narcissists or women being a bad mother or things like that, because a lot of times we give women the benefit of the doubt and we just always automatically assume it's the man. And that the man is the man is doing this, or the man did a woman wrong. But for some fathers, one of my friends, I remember his child's mother told him that if he moved on, he would never see his daughter again. like stuff like that. But she had a whole boyfriend and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's really it's if you have a good relationship with them and things like that, and you're still not going back and forth, I believe it's easy to have a long lasting relationship and build something with someone. I think a lot of times with relationships, we make them more harder than what they actually are. So
Mm-hmm.
if you went through your healing process and healed yourself, and the partner that you choose to be with has healed herself, I believe that relationship can work and you can have a long lasting relationship.
Yeah, I agree. It goes along with everything that you were saying from the beginning with being held hostage or holding the other person hostage. Just because you still have feelings for that person doesn't mean you have to jeopardize the relationship of that parent with the child as well, because I mean they're going to have to welcome, or they're going to have the opportunity to welcome someone else new in their lives, not to quote unquote take the place of that other parent if it deems so, but in the moment thereof, it's like that relationship is going to have to be introduced to the child, and you don't want to put them in that situation where they have to choose, okay, no, this person is not good for my mom, that person not good. It depends on that parent, but too they can't hold grudges or anything towards that new person that you're trying to welcome into your life, all because the other person is choosing not to let go of you for whatever reason. That's on them. So I do agree with that, not being held hostage. And then you also mentioned the whole narcissist thing. I mean, we talk a lot about how people have that controlling mentality, just thinking that somebody can't move on. Just because you can't move on don't mean nobody else can. Just because it didn't work out with you don't mean it can't work out with somebody else. So we have to be adults in that situation. Not to say that we are those type of people, but the ones that we deal with and who we had our kids with, just laying it all out on the table, just giving a better picture for the child in order for them to understand like what's about to transition, so just finding that balance with them. And it does play on both ends, both male and female, because you guys are not always to blame and we're not always to blame, but it's the person that we deal with that needs to do the changing, as well as us. I know sometimes we allow them to treat us any kind of way, but once we start loving ourselves and being fully committed to what we know that we're able to have or desire, then I think it's possible.
Once you get over the fear of being alone.
Yes, that too. That has a lot to do with it too, because we don't like to be lonely. I know when we have our kids. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say we don't like to be by ourselves sometimes, but in being by ourselves, that's when I know for me that I feel like that's when I get the most wisdom that I need to grow in different areas, because it blocks out all the noise. It blocks out me, having to tend to everybody else and their problems, and just focusing on me when I'm like by myself. Like at this moment, it's just giving me an opportunity to say, hey, Tiana, you know what? This is what you can be working on, how you can better yourself in this area and that or whatever. But yeah, it's just you have to be able to be okay with being by yourself, because I think that's the beginning stage before you're able to have other people involved into your life.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, we get alone, or we rush our process because of the microwave generation that we live in now. We feel like everything is supposed to be together. I'm supposed to be married with kids before 30. I'm supposed to be this, that, and the third. And, sometimes we jump in relationships and that we're not supposed to be in, or sometimes we deal with people that we're not supposed to deal with because we're afraid of being alone. And, no one wants to be alone, because, I mean, even from the beginning of time, God created man, and he brought a woman, and, for us to be together. So I understand the feeling that we want to be, with someone, but we have to be with the right someone and have to actually, know how to get loved, and know how to receive love, and also know how to give love.
Mm-hmm. So with that, Did you have a support system, or was there like some people that you went to for mentoring on how to, get through fatherhood, or was it just, by habit or chance or experience?
Man, it was trial and error.
Okay.
It was trial and error because I couldn't go to my like most of my uncles in my family. Like in my family, there's 3 ways that you can go as a man. It may be 3 or 4, but there's 3 ways that you can go as a man. Either you can be in the streets, you can go work in a factory, you can be a drug addict, or you can go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the options for the men in my family. And like most of the men in my family, all the men in my family, none of them are married. They're all like, I've seen them through my whole life with multiple different women and things like that. So I couldn't ask them how to be a father. And only my grandfather has kids. My other uncles ain't got no kids. They don't even have kids. So because they've been going from different woman to woman, so they never had kids. So only my grandfather is the only person that had my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my other aunt. So, I couldn't go to no man in my family. It was all women in my family. And, most of them was kind of bitter. So I couldn't really listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that I learned was off of trial and error and actually watching TV, man. Because when I used to see the Cosby Show, and I used to see how they used to be at the table and they used to be laughing and joking, or how Will on Fresh Prince was with Uncle Phil and stuff like that, or hanging with Mr. Cooper. I was like, man, I'm gonna be like that when I have kids, or I'm gonna be something like that. We're gonna have fun because like I'm still a big kid myself. I still run through the house and play with the kids, and they done got older now, so they don't really play as much. So it's really my nieces and nephews, but I still go, bother my son when he playing the video game, or I embarrass my daughter when I come to school, and I kiss on her like 100 times while she with her friends and all that stuff. So, I try to give them as much love as I can, give them the love that I wish I'd have got at that time. So, everything that I learned was just off of just trial and error.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it, too. Just being able to give what you weren't able to receive.
Right.
And to know that you even have that in you, because, I mean, a lot of people, they either end up like their parents or think that they're going to end up like their parents. But if you don't make that change before it all happens, then, yeah, you'll probably repeat that cycle. So that's why I felt it necessary.
And then we got to stop. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, please. You go.
No, I was going to say that, and we got to stop putting those witch tales and ghost stories on kids, or putting those curses on kids, because we'll tell a kid that you're just like your dad, or you're just like your mom. And, especially if they've never really met them or they don't have a relationship with them, because, they don't really know how those parents are. And when you're telling those kids those things, they're thinking that it's bad. So they feel like they have to be bad. Or how our relatives always talk about your weight. Oh, you don't got big, or oh, you don't got little. Like, just let people be people and stop putting, those stigmas on people, and stop, because that's mental abuse.
Yes,
because
it is.
When you gotta mentally prepare yourself to walk into your aunt's house or grandma's house or whoever's house, I wonder what they're gonna say today. That's not cool.
Yeah.
That's not okay. So we gotta stop doing that to kids and stop putting those curses on our own kids and stop that stuff. One of my aunts said today, she was like, my son, he's a big boy, because I'm a big man. She was like, ooh, he almost as big as you. I said, you mean he is almost as handsome as I am? Yeah. Like, don't listen. You don't know how he feels about that. Don't put that on him. Don't say that to him. Yeah. Let's stop mentally abusing each other. So let's not do those things, because those things are not cool. I remember as a kid, I'm the darkest person in my family. Everybody in my family is light skinned or lighter complected. And you remember every time they used to say I was cute or handsome, it was always I'm cute or handsome for a dark darker person. Ooh, look at that dark skin. They always say that all the time. And I remember, I took soap and water, and my grandma had some lightener cream, what women put on their face with the makeup. And I was in the bathroom when they scraping my face, so I was like bleeding because I was trying to be lighter like everybody else.
Wow.
So we got to stop doing that to kids because my grandma came in there and she was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I want to look like you, Grandma." And she was like, "Baby, you are handsome. You're beautiful. You're a handsome young man. Don't let nobody change that. Your skin is beautiful. So we got to stop doing kids like that, man. Or when we see younger girls, ooh, you thick, or you gonna be thick, or you're well rounded. Like, stop. Stop. That's a 13, 12-year-old girl. Don't put that sexual language on her like that.
Because that makes them more like self-conscious. I kind of feel where you're coming from on that. Because
exactly.
it can mess with somebody's esteem so much so that we won't even know it, because they'll try to do it so subtly, try to change this or change that, and which leads into the whole bullying thing too, because it's like there's no telling what the child is dealing with at home, or vice versa, what they're dealing with at school, and then so first of all, they're getting picked on at school. They're not telling the parent, because when they get home and they even attempt to tell the parent is just like, they're showing them another type of, like you said, verbal or mental abuse, or another form of bullying when they get home. So it's like they have nobody to go to. So that's where they need that, avenue for, being able to have the right people to go to in order to feel good about themselves, and just to feel loved. Because you brought them into this world, so why talk about them? Why put all this on them? Because you chose to have that child. So find ways to just show them the love that they're needing, and not to talk about them, because it more than likely it happened to them. It happened to that parent. And that's why I try not to, mimic what was done to me. Because I dealt with a lot, and it messed with my self-esteem. So I try to, curve that a lot more so with my daughter, because I chose to have her. So therefore, I have to love her so unconditionally that whatever I had against her father, it doesn't fall back on her, because that was between me and him. It has nothing to do with her. So I have to love her regardless of how I felt about him or what I went through and all that stuff. But it's so true what you're saying. Very true. We have to stop speaking, because like the Bible also says about speaking life and death. To me, that's a form of speaking that on them. That's why I never told her, "Are you just like your daddy?" No, you're not. You may have some of his, you may have some of our characteristics and a little bit of our personality, but you are nothing like that person. So with that,
and I think boys have it the worst. I think boys have it the worst because a lot of like I said, we do a double standard. We don't ever look at the women. There's a lot of women out here that really hate the father so much that they take it out on the sons. They take it out on the son. Like, no matter what you did or how that relationship ended or whatever, you take it out on the son. And then you may hold the son away from the father or whatever it may be, or daughter and stuff like that. And we got to stop that. We got to break that. Yeah.
Penalizing a child just because. And that's another thing too. Because you're taking away from their childhood or their opportunity to build a relationship with their parents. I mean, I hate to say it, but it felt like I was, being held back from building that relationship with my father. Could or could not be the truth about it, but I mean, I believe it's happened to a lot of young people, to where it's like now they've built up this bitterness towards that parent for whatever reason. because they didn't get that opportunity to find out, hey, why do I do this? Why do I do that? Why are they saying that I do this like you? Or, so.
Same thing happened to me with my dad. And, now we're good friends, and I'm understanding things about him, which is making me helping me understand things about myself. And I'm like, dang, like, this man is saying, he's telling his story, and it sounds like my story.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
And it's a lot of these dads out here ain't deadbeats. A lot of them are really good fathers, and it's the mothers that's doing it.
You talking right. So we got to do better,
Right.
as the mothers and the fathers, because both chose to have the child. So it's only right to come to some type of agreement for the better of the child, rather than putting them in any more predicaments where they have to feel like they have to choose between the two when they can have both, or the luxury of both. So to wrap it up, let's hit this question about advice. Then would you suggest, or do you think that single fathers should take advice from anyone who is not a single father or not a parent?
I guess it really depends on what that advice is, man. I guess if they're telling the advices about from like their story, if they see, someone, for example, the other day I was washing my clothes, and I saw it was a mother and son. The son was getting the son couldn't be no more than like 12, 13. He was getting the clothes out of the car, and all the clothes were in garbage bags. So that's a disaster already. So he pulled the guy's car, and it got caught on the trunk, and it ripped open.
You said the bag got caught on the trunk and ripped?
Yes, it got and ripped open, and then the clothes fell on the ground. And it was like, you act like you stupid with your punk ass. Pick the clothes up before I punch you in your chest. And I was like, bro, like, that's not right.
Yeah.
That's not right. So if I was in that if I was in that predicament and I heard that and I was her friend and I don't have kids, I could be like, hey sis, hey bro, like, that's not cool. You remember when we were kids and that stuff happened to us and how we felt about it? If it's something like that, you telling them about something that you didn't like as a kid or something like that, or something that happened to you and you're trying to, help them do something better, then yeah, something like that. But, you can't be, you gotta pick and choose, what you say. And some advice you can't really take because, you don't have that, you don't have a child, so I really can't listen to you. So, but some advice you can take. So, I mean, I listen to everything, man. I try to listen way more than I speak.
Okay. I'm more of an observer than anything. So if I see something like out of whack or whatnot, it depends on what's going on. If I feel like I could say something that may help, and if I feel like it's not going to make it any different than what's going on, then I kind of like, I just hope for for things to change. If that was to ever happen again on that person's situation. Is there any, do you have any advice at all, or any other things that you would like to share for any single fathers?
Just keep trying. Just keep fighting. Never give up. If you're in a single father situation and you're no longer with the other person, try to make sure that communication is clear. Even if that person don't want to communicate with you, you still have to communicate about the child. So don't just be like, well, she'll hit me up whenever, or my kid grown, she can hit me up. Don't take that approach. Take the approach of, reaching out. And, it's sometimes those text messages or phone calls are going to fall on deaf ears. You won't get a call back, you won't get a text back, but, don't let that stop you from trying to build a relationship with your child, because you want to go ahead and, eliminate those questions for when the child gets older, like why you didn't do this, why you didn't do that. So try your best to keep, you know, that line of communication open and do whatever that's within your power. You know, if you're in a new relationship and you still have that child, want to be respectful to both women. You know, make sure that everyone is comfortable. There shouldn't be any disrespect between each other, because ultimately you're all there for the betterment of the child. So there shouldn't be no disrespect or tell her I said this or tell her I said that. You know, let's all be respectful and, you know, build up these kids the right way. And, you know, and before you would decide to become a father or a mother, you know, make sure that you're with the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life, because, you know, we want to get those numbers down on single fathers and single mothers, and, you know, or kids, blended families. We want to get those numbers down as well. There's nothing wrong with that, but we want to see the kids grow up in the household with their original parents. And, you know, I didn't get that. I wasn't afforded that ability, and I'm not even going to get that ability now, you know, with me having 2 children. You know, so when I do get in a relationship, you know, and if I decide to have another child with someone, I want that child to grow up in that same household with me and the mother, and feel all the love and things that we've seen on TV. You know, it's not always going to be easy, but I want to make sure that, you know, I get to see my children grow in the house with me.
Yes, sir.
That's not all I got, just communication.
Yes, sir. It's well taken. Well taken. Again, I do appreciate you for answering and taking this time out to just talk about being a single father. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this was Kevon. And I commend you once again for being a great single father, or a great father, rather. Just take the singleness out of it for right now, but just being a great father to your children, and just continue to love on them the way you've been loving on them, and I'm pretty sure that they're well receiving of it and extending the same love to you as well.
Hey, you do the same.
All
you
right.
out here thugging it yourself and being a great mother and you know, showing your daughter that love every single day that you didn't get, and raising up a good one. So, you know, keep on thugging it out.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all. All right, y'all take care.
Peace.